Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. It's Patrick Prequitter. Welcome to this week's Wholesale Challenge. I believe we're into week probably 5 now. So welcome all. Great to see you guys here. So, give you kind of lay the land for tonight. And I want to welcome our new viewers and new listeners. I see some new names here, so congratulations. Welcome. Two things we're going to go over tonight. So one's kind of on the technical business side, which is a lot of noise out there right now with wholesaling, the right way to do it. And then the second one is kind of working a little bit more on ourselves and digging in a little deeper into the idea that it's our decisions, not our conditions, that dictate our destiny. And the idea that the decisions that we make every day have a ripple effect on the trajectory that we're on in life, right? If that's the case, it probably makes some pretty darn good sense to understand how and why we make the decisions that we make. Does that make sense? So we'll spend a little time on that in the second half of the call. As always, I want to really, welcome everybody for being here and give everybody, like I said, I see some new names here. Congratulations. Welcome to the program, and well, dive right in. This is an action-oriented program. This isn't just come and listen to Pat talk, okay? So what I'd like to start with is the kind of the technical legal stuff about wholesaling. I want to get crystal clear on what we can and can't do in a wholesaling game, how to stay off the radar screen of some of the attorney generals out there that are just headhunting right now, right? Get into some definitions, understanding like the difference between equitable title in a property, which we're granted through the powers of a contract, and legal title of a property, which is totally different, much bigger set of rights. And there's do's and don'ts with what we can do with a limited set of rights of equitable title. Okay. And yes, it directly applies to how we run our business. So why don't we start the discussion there? And then I want to get on to, once you understand the limitations there, what that actually means in our day-to-day operation. All right, let me get out us some pens here. Now it's a good pen. Pull you right in. Nice and close. So we have equitable title. You see me here? Yeah. Right? So start out with the idea of equitable title, okay? This is not full ownership of a property. This is when we get a contract to buy a house. We have a contract, we're given equitable title. But what that means, it's simply the right to obtain title. Okay, the right to obtain title. So when we, and this is what we get with a contract. When we write a contract to purchase, that purchase agreement gives us the right to get title, obtain title. That's described as equitable ownership or equitable title. And the problem is, for so many years, many of the people teaching wholesaling, the gurus, they didn't know this. They thought somehow equitable title was the same as title, legal title. They're not. Different set of rules. I'm going to change color of pens just because I can. So legal title, right? Is ownership as granted in most states by a deed. Okay. So this I could have wrote the right to obtain title or ownership. Okay. Yeah, that's probably a better way to say it. When I say just the word title alone, I mean free and clear. Be simple. Just remember that word. Be simple. It's the type of ownership, the deed, that gives you the most rights in title. So for the sake of this discussion, okay, I just got a lot of pens. When you write a contract, you bet an equitable title, which is the right to obtain ownership. When you have legal title, you have ownership by virtue of a deed. Okay, see the difference there? How do you know the difference? Contract, deed. Owner of the property, not the owner of the property. All you have is a set of rights to obtain ownership. Well, Pat, what are those rights? Oh, it's whatever you put in the contract. So what does all this mean? Why am I going through this and explaining it to you? Because this is where we screw it up. Okay? You've been taught, probably by many, that by virtue of equitable title, you can market a homeowner's house for sale without a real estate license. And I'll get into how the real estate license doesn't fix everything. I can tell you that right now. Okay? But you've been taught that with equitable title, contracted ownership, that gave you the right to market the house for sale. And that is absolutely, positively, unarguably incorrect. Wrong. As in not right. Okay? Legal title, you own the property, you can market your own house for sale without a license. Starting to see the difference here? These are the only rights we have in the wholesaling space. We don't own the property. We haven't bought it yet. We haven't closed on it yet. We don't have a deed. We're not recorded owners. We have a contract. Okay? You say, well, Pat, what does all that have to do with all this stuff? So here's the gig. Okay? There are many, many, many people out there operating without a license, selling properties they don't own, and they will one by one get in trouble. I'm sharing this with you so you're not one of the one by ones. Okay? You cannot market somebody's house for sale that you don't have the deed to without a license, and not only a license, but a license and a contract stating that you are representing the seller in a real estate agent / home seller relationship. So just possessing a license in and of itself still doesn't change this. So, Pat, I'm an agent. I'm allowed to sell somebody's house for a fee. You're right. But as a wholesaler, that's not what you're doing either. You're making a profit on a contract that you're selling. You're not selling somebody's house. But what if I market the house and I sell the contract? No, you're crossing boundaries. If you market the house, you need that you don't own, you need a real estate license. And the only way that real estate license applies is if you're in agreement with that homeowner to sell their house for a commission. But that's not what you're doing. You can't market their house, claim that because you're a real estate license, you're a licensed agent, it's okay, not be in a contracted agreement with the homeowner to sell their house for a commission, and turn around and sell the contract for a profit. That's way wrong. So my point, having a real estate license doesn't fix squat there. Starting to get me on this? Legal title. You own a property, you can sell. So if you get a contract, you buy the house, close on it, and sell it, that you can do. Fair enough? And this does bring into question houses that you are in fact closing on. You're in contract, you're going to close on it, and then you go ahead and market it for sale before you close. Again, you're marketing a house for sale that you do not own, and I would challenge the idea that that is an illegal transaction, a finable transaction. When I say illegal, I don't think it's not like, I don't think it's under, it's like under licensure. It's a weird word, licensing. It's licensure laws. I can't even say the word, but it's not like criminal. You know what I mean? Little different than that. All right, so that's part one of the challenge. No, that's not part one of the wholesale challenge. Part one of the issue here. Okay, and then part two falls under intent and capability. Intent and capability. When you enter into the contract as a wholesaler, what is your intention? And what are you stating your intention to be? That's number one. Number two, capability. If you're stating that you're going to buy the house but are incapable and have a track record of this, there's a certain level of fraudulent activity going on there as well. Both of them could be considered a representation of fraud because you're misrepresenting, right? I say, but Pat, I don't have a ton of money. I don't intend on closing on a house. I just want to make some money wholesaling. Good. Let's do it the right way. That's all. What's the right way? Very simple. Okay. You have in your documents an option agreement. The option agreement is very simple. In exchange for a set of rights, another form of equitable title, you're paying them a fee. The rights, though, don't say you're going to buy or not buy. They say you have the choice to. So they're implying or not implying anything. And because you're not implying that you're going to buy or not buy, there's no intent to be discussed. And there's no discussion of capability because you're not intending, you're not representing at all what you intend to do or not to do. So you can't determine whether you're capable of doing it or not doing it. Understand what I'm saying? You're saying, hey, listen, dear Mr. Homeowner, I would like to buy a set of rights on your house. We call it an option agreement. It's the option to buy or not to buy for the price that you and I shake hands on over the amount of time that we agree to. And in exchange for that set of rights, I'm going to give you X amount of dollars. We call it an option fee. It's not a deposit. It goes right directly in your pocket immediately, not refundable. You can go spend it today, unlike a deposit. A deposit can't go in your pocket and you can't spend it. So what I do with my set of rights is wholly up to me. I'm not representing I'm going to do anything one way or the other. Doesn't matter if I have the capability to do any. All I'm doing is buying a set of rights and you selling me a set of rights. What I do with them is neither here nor there. That's like me buying a school book from you. Whether I use it or not is up to me. What if I buy the school book from you and I can only keep it for X amount of period of time? If I read it, I can buy more school books. If I don't read it, nothing happens. I'm not obligated to read it or not to read it. Whether I can even read is neither here nor there. I gave you money. You in exchange gave me a set of rights. Simple. Black and white. Cool? Now, there's other ways to successfully wholesale. One of them would be to close on every transaction and then turn around and sell the property. It's not technically wholesaling anymore, but you can still sell it at a wholesale price before it gets fixed up, right? Make a little money on it. That would be one way of doing it. Okay, so there are other ways of doing these deals. I'm speaking in terms of the most authentic wholesale transaction where you get a house under contract, you turn around, you sell the contract for a profit to the person who ultimately, I guess, is going to fix it up or live in it for that matter, right? So let's just end this part of this discussion on that separation. We're not selling houses when all we have is a contract. We're not selling houses when all we have is equitable interest. We're selling a contract. Did I just say it wrong? We're not selling houses. We're selling a contract when all we have is equitable ownership. When we have a deed, then we can sell the house. One last word on it. You say, well, Pat, what the heck do I talk about? Tell them about it's a 3-bed, 2-bath house, because it's still not selling anybody's house. You're describing an asset. Located in the Middlesex County, in a Middlesex County neighborhood with $30,000 of equity sitting in it, and I'm selling the contract for $5,000. You can give that to them. Are they allowed to see the contract, the terms of the contract? Of course they are, because that's what they're buying. Will they see the address of the house when they see it? Of course they will, because that's the substance of the contract. You're still not selling a house. You're not marketing a house for sale. You're selling a contract. I can't emphasize enough the clear distinction you got to make between those two. Okay? It will be harder to sell than maybe some of you are traditionally used to, when you can just put up a house for sale and no one address, do an open house. Man, probably too bad. It's the way of the world. It's the way the, and here's the thing, our laws haven't changed. At the end of the day, these things get cleaned up when too many homeowners, consumers, are harmed. Meaning when there's enough complaints, then attorney generals get involved and start cleaning up. And then the other side that is hindering this a little are just little snarky, whiny little realtors who can't make it on their own, who focus on investors as competition, and therefore feel the need, the desire to go turn people in. It happens. I've seen it happen. I had a person I know sent me a copy of the cease and desist letter that he got from the attorney general in his area. It's like, Pat, what did I do wrong? I'm like, dude, you have 3 properties that all you have equitable ownership in, and you're running open houses at them. You're selling the property, brother. That's what you did wrong. And it's kind of funny because we brought this whole discussion up in our Find and Flip event back in February. Talked about the exact same discussion. And afterwards, some people were like, I think you're making a bigger to-do out of this than I think it is. I'm like, you can think whatever you want. I'm not here to make more friends. I'm here to give the truth. Tell you stuff that a lot of other people aren't willing to tell you. Fair enough? Cool. Switch gears. Okay? So I want to share with you now. Call this starting to answer the question why we do what we do. Why we do what we do. So I'm going to break this into maybe 2 or 3 parts here, right? Let's call the first one. And again, remember that same quote I had up for you guys. It's not our conditions, but it's our decisions that shape our destiny, that determine our outcome. So let's talk about our decisions, because that's all it is. You want different results, you change your decisions. You want to change your destiny, change your decision. You want to change your outcomes, you change your decisions. Right, easy. You get it. I got it. We all get it. But what affects our decisions? Now, when you know something's good for you, you know how to do it, you know it'll serve you and serve others, and you still choose not to do it, or you choose to do something else. Why did you make the poor decision? What's driving that? That's what I want to talk about. Okay. So what if we looked at three components? We'll start with this. We'll call it three components that kind of shape our model of the world, right? And then from there we'll go into three decisions that we make every single day, okay? That we have to understand why we make them. And then I want to talk about um come invisible forces that lie behind our decision making, okay? And I think once I get through all three segments here, I think this will kind of start to make sense to you. Okay. So let's start with the three components that shape our model. Now let's say our model of the world, right? You got your driving force, and we'll talk about that. That's your six basic human needs, your driving force. You have your guiding force. Your guiding force, that's your beliefs and your core values, right? And then finally, you have your fuel of choice, and that's your emotions. That's your feelings, right? So you got your driving force, you get your guiding force, you get your fuel of choice. Your driving force, that's the idea that we all have these six basic human needs: consistency in our life, inconsistency or variety in our life, love and connection. That's that deep inside connection that we make with individuals. Significance, which is the wanting to be needed, the making a difference, the mattering. Growth, it's number five, and that's our constant desire to expand, to get bigger. Than contribution, and that's our desire to be part of something bigger than ourselves. So those are the six basic human needs that drive all of our human nature. And there's always two of those that rise to the top that make a bigger, that have a bigger impact on us. And it's important that we put a little time, effort, energy into determining what those two are. Understanding which two we're constantly driving towards allows us to understand our decisions better. So those are our driving forces, the six basic human needs. Now let's talk about our guiding forces: beliefs and values. Beliefs and values. Now I know that beliefs, right, versus your needs. Your needs, they're inside, right? They're inborn to us, whereas our beliefs are learned over time. Your guiding force are filtered through your beliefs and your core values. If you believe something is good for you, you'll be more inclined to make a decision for it. If you believe it's bad for you, be inclined otherwise, right? Which then makes sense. If our beliefs are learned through experience, and we're experiencing new things every single day, it makes a whole hell of a lot of sense to constantly check our beliefs, to go back and see if they still hold true or not, and make adjustments, because they are a filter we put our decision making through, and our decisions ultimately determine our destination. So therefore, our beliefs are tied to our end result, as are our core values. And this is the one thing I'll say on your core values. If you don't know what they are, if they're not out in front of you, honesty, integrity, loyalty, family, those are rock solid to me, right? Responsibility, bam, own these, right? If you don't know yours, if they're not out in front, right, you'll make decisions that are slightly altered by your core values, but not because you're aware of them, because you're unaware of them, which is a problem. Because we're making decisions then based on filters that we didn't particularly choose, that are altering our trajectory that we're on in life. Bam, we got to figure that out. Then the next one is the fuel of choice, and that's our emotions and our feelings. So this is how this affects our decision. Let's say you're driving down the road and somebody cuts you off, right? You got a choice. How are you going to feel about that? So I'm so, Pat, I got road rage. I got anger issues. Bullshit, 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 bullshit. You're just not taking any responsibility for the emotions that you choose. But follow me on this. So you choose to get angry. You get pissed off, so you give them the finger, then they brake check you. You get pissed off even more. So you fly around them, you get in front of them, you slam on your brakes. Because you're angry. It's not your fault. You're angry. You're road rage. You got anger issues. No, bullshit. And the dude slams in the back of you because he wasn't paying attention. Now you're in a big accident. Was that bad luck? No. That was you being a jackass. That was you not owning your emotions. That's how powerful the emotions and feelings that we choose are in our decision making. It's very difficult to make a positive movement decision when you are in a negative, angry state, and vice versa. It's almost impossible to make a poor decision when you're in like a positive, energized state. When I say poor, I mean a negative energy decision. Negative energy decision would be to wanting to attack back and lash out at that person who cut you off. But if you chose an alternative emotion and an alternative feeling, instead of choosing to get angry and giving the guy a finger and that mother effer and all that kind of stuff, which said, thank you, Lord. No accident, no one hurt. I live to see another day. I am the luckiest guy in the world. When you go there and you believe that with absolute gratitude, it is impossible to follow that with a negative decision and negative action, a negative. Remember, what you do, what you focus on, brings on more of it. And that goes right into this next session, the decisions that we make every day. We decide what we focus on. We decide what it means to us when we focus on it. We give it meaning. Then we decide the actions that we're going to take. We decided to focus on this a-hole cut us off. We decided that the meaning we gave it was that he did it intentionally. It means he's an ass. It means I should fight back. It means I can't let him get away with that. Right? See how the snowball, then the actions that follow, I'm going to go back and cut him off, which could result in the accident. Focus, meaning action. Focus, meaning actions. Decisions we make every day. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't take ownership of these decisions at the highest authority, meaning that you own them, your outcome is your doing, and you have full, entire control to do something about it. If you don't own it at that level, you will continue to make decisions that do not serve you. And that's what we're talking about here, right? So let me add one more layer here. This is the invisible force behind decision making, behind what we just spoke about in terms of the focus and meaning and actions, right? Physiology and the language you choose. Go back to the same example. Okay. Physiology would be hard to use in this example because you're in a car, you're in a posture, whatever. Remember, physiology is the entire body reaction. Did you thank God, absolute gratitude. Today's a wonderful day. No accident. Relax, calm, hands not all white now, uncle. You almost just had a coasting. Life is good. Versus that asshole. Can't believe you freaking did that. You're all tensed up. That's physiology. Right? From your focus that came out of. Even if you chose to focus on that same example, but you took control of your physiology. So, okay, deep breath. This is why this deep breath, this is where this comes from. Relax, deep breath. Shoulders back. Body at ease. Let it all out. Right? Let all that bad energy out. That's your physiology. That changes everything. Put that together with the power of language. Guy cuts you off. That motherfucker. What an ass. He ain't getting away with that. That language versus thank you. You just made me realize, I got to stay a little more alert. I didn't get hit. You didn't crash into me. Thanks for the heads up. Have a great day. Who's going to have a better night that night? Starting to get this? So a buddy of mine, Jason, met me at a mastermind last week-long mastermind, and shows up right away. And I'm like, hey, brother, what's up? About like high five him, give the guy a hug. And like, oh, no, dude, coming down with a cold. So his whole physiology coming down with a cold. I'm like, Jason, brother, you ain't coming down with a cold. You are successfully defending the attack of a virus, brother. You got this. You are repeat with me. You are successfully defending the attack by a cold. You are not coming down with a cold. You, Jason, are successfully defending this cold. Stand up, shoulders back, deep breath, bring it in. You're strong, you're powerful. Tell your body how it's going to respond. Everything follows after those words, right? Dude didn't get sick. He got through the week. I can't tell you it's exactly from that, but it certainly didn't hurt, right? I'm done. I'm exhausted. I worked hard today. I deserve to rest. I'm going to finish what I'm doing and then enjoy an entire restful and peaceful night. Positive, authoritative. You own the space. You're not a victim to this space. You own this. You're causing it. I worked hard today. I earned a rest. I deserve a break. I'm freaking exhausted, man. Today kicked my ass. I jammed today and I'm freaking exhausted now. I deserve a good night's rest. Starting to get this? Starting to see the difference. So the two hidden influences that stand behind our decisions are physiology and the language we choose. I see some of you are jumping on right now as we wrap this up. Welcome. What I would suggest you guys, you go back and listen to this one from the very beginning. This is a powerful call. Okay. For those who I'll just recap the call for you. Okay. Just for this, I just saw some people jump on. First half of the call is about the legal way to do wholesaling. It's changing. There's a few key ways that it's changing. There's some dodo birds out there teaching the wrong way and give it to you very clean, very simple. It's not hard to do. If you have any questions, you need any clarity on that, reach out to me between these calls. I don't want us doing this stuff the wrong way. Second was about the idea that it's not our conditions, but our decisions that shape our destiny. We went over to the us side of this, okay? And I broke that discussion all around our decisions, but I broke it into three categories, right? Number one, the components that shape kind of our model of life, our model of the world, our driving force, our guiding force, and our fuel of choice. Our driving force, right? The one that kind of gets it all started is our 6 basic human needs and how we go about filling them. Our guiding force, that's our beliefs, our values. Understanding too that our needs are inborn. They come from inside. Our beliefs and values are learned along the way. They're learned through experience. We experience new things every single day. Therefore, we should constantly be checking our beliefs and values. And if you leave this call and say it doesn't matter, well, it won't matter because you won't be conscious of it, but it will absolutely affect the decisions that you make. Fuel of choice is the emotions and the feelings that we choose. Choosing to be angry, choosing to be depressed, choosing to be a victim. All choices don't serve you. Stop making decisions that don't serve you. 3 decisions that we make on a regular basis. What we focus on, right? The meaning that we give to it, and then the actions that we take from it. Things that we focus on, the meaning that we give to it, and the actions that we take from it. Those are the 3 decisions we make every single day. Starts with our focus, followed very closely by the meaning that we attach to it, and that'll dictate the action that comes out of it. And then finally, the 2 key components that hide behind all decision making, that influence all decision making, are physiology and the language we apply. Okay. I certainly highly recommend you guys go back and listen to this one. This might be the most powerful call yet of the season. If you need anything from me, you know how to get hold of me. Okay. You guys are awesome. I look forward to crushing this again next week. You guys have a great evening. If you're on West Coast, it's late afternoon, early evening. Peace. Bye bye.